So last week, $100 million quietly moved onto a blockchain most people have never heard of. EtherFi, a crypto yield giant holding over 6 billion in deposits, wired 100 million exclusively into a vault on a chain called Plume. And here's what really got me. Count the actual people holding real-world assets on chain, and this chain is number one in the world. Not Ethereum, not Solana, Plume. So today, how a chain barely 2 years old, built by three young founders who survived the worst week a startup can have, ended up registered with the SEC itself. Let's get into it. So to understand Plume, you need to meet three people. Chris Yin, the CEO, is a product guy. His first startup got acquired. He rode Coupa Software to an IPO, then went into venture at Scale Venture Partners. And get this, his crypto awakening reportedly came when testers at his software company asked to be paid in Bitcoin. Payroll, not trading. Eugene Shen was the technical brain. He built trading infrastructure at Robinhood Crypto, then helped architect DYDX's famous move onto its own chain. And Teddy Pornprinya did deals at Coinbase and built ecosystems for BNB Chain. In early 2024, they looked at tokenization and saw, honestly, a museum. Assets were technically on-chain, but they just sat there. Chris has said launching one tokenized product took up to 36 months and $200,000 just to launch. Their answer was rwa.xyz. In his words, reimagining real-world assets as composable, yield-bearing primitives that behave like crypto. And investors move fast. A 10 million seed led by Hahn Ventures, a 20 million Series A co-led by Brevin Howard Digital, Galaxy, and Lightspeed Faction. Then Layer Zero made Plume the first ever investment from its Catalyst fund. And Apollo, yes, that Apollo, put actual fund money in before the chain even launched. Okay, quick map of what they built in plain English. The chain is the road. Arc is the factory that turns a real asset into a token. Nexus pipes real-world data on-chain. Nest is the storefront where you put your money, and Skylink streams the yield out to other chains. Now, about that road. Plume markets itself as a full-stack RWA chain. Under the hood, it's a specialized Ethereum rollup on Arbitrum's technology, which, for institutions, is honestly the reassuring answer. But here's the twist nobody else has. Every transaction gets simulated in milliseconds before it executes, and every address it touches is screened against the US sanctions list. If it's dirty, it's dropped before it ever reaches the chain. They call it the only public blockchain running money laundering checks at the sequencer level. Compliance isn't bolted on, it's in the engine. And it's alive. 190 million transactions and counting, blocks landing in under half a second. So what do you actually get? Nest vaults, a treasury vault around 3% you can exit in 4 days, an Apollo private credit blend around 10 that asks a week, a Brazilian receivables vault around 11. Real yield, real trade-offs. One honest catch. From the US, you literally hit an access restricted screen. I tested it. Securities law, working as intended. Just not for us yet. Now I need to slow down here. Because in late May of 2025, days before the biggest moment in the company's life, Plume posted something no startup ever wants to write. Quote, "Earlier this week, we lost our co-founder and dear friend, Eugene. We're in shock. Eugene Shen, the CTO, the architect of the entire system, had passed away suddenly. The token fell about 10% that day, and the main net he'd spent a year building was due within days. They shipped it. 1 week later, on June 5th, Genesis went live with $150 million of real-world assets working from day one. No victory lap. They just shipped the system Eugene architected. To this day, Plume has not publicly named a new CTO. And while we're being honest, that 5 billion number on their homepage, that's pipeline, committed, not live. Plume's own count puts live value around 340 million. Independent trackers measure lower still. Same with users. Independent dashboards show about 250,000 holders. Plume's own count is far higher. And Plume themselves published a post called TVL is meaningless. Quote, one wallet with 100 million in TVL is not adoption. By their own standard, what they've truly won so far is people, not billions. Keep that frame. So here's where Plume did something genuinely different. In October 2025, a Plume subsidiary became a registered transfer agent with the SEC. If you've never heard the term, a transfer agent is the official record keeper of who owns a security, the quiet back office that pays your dividends. With it, Plume can run cap tables on-chain, automate dividends, and, the part I love, mirror those records straight into the DTCC, Wall Street's own plumbing. To be precise, Plume calls itself the first blockchain native company to get this. Ondo and Securitize hold registrations too. Plume's difference is wiring it into the chain itself. Then this May, their Bermuda entity won conditional approval under the same framework Circle and Coinbase use to run what they call the world's first regulated on-chain vault manager. Each vault is legally ring-fenced, so one blowing up can't drain the rest. Add an Abu Dhabi license, a comment letter on the SEC's website, testimony before Congress this March. 3 jurisdictions, 1 strategy. And institutions noticed. WisdomTree put 14 tokenized funds on Plume. Apollo's tokenized credit fund went live with a 50 million anchor. There's an oil and gas vault paying royalties from 2,500 real wells. As Chris Yin put it, the ETF democratized investing for anyone with a brokerage account. We are democratizing it for everyone else. Which brings us back to that 100 million. The EtherFi vault reportedly holds a BlackRock AAA CLO fund, a Fidelity bond fund, and an institutional credit pool. And to be clear, those are funds inside the vault, not BlackRock partnering with Plume. But that's the point. Plume's bet is your money never has to move to its chain. The yield streams to wherever you already are. Nest vaults run natively on Solana now. There's a product on Pendle paying around 11% from Brazilian credit card receivables, backed by a $200 million facility, not DeFi magic. And EtherFi just brought it to $6 billion of depositors. Meanwhile, the sector grew from about 21 to 28 billion in the first quarter alone. Chris Yin's public call. RWAs grow 3 to 5x this year as a base case. He's even said 10 to 20x is the low end. Founder optimism, sure, but licensed rails make it credible. Next on the roadmap, broker-dealer and trading system registrations. The missing pieces for a full stock market lifecycle on-chain. Honest scoreboard. Plume is number 1 on Earth in RWA holders, and around 10th in RWA value. They've democratized access. The institutional billions still live mostly on Ethereum. Whether those billions follow the licenses, that's the bet. So what do you do with this? 3 real things, all free. If you're new here, Plume's RWA Academy is one of the better free beginner resources on tokenization. No wallet needed. Outside the US, the Nest vaults are open and non-custodial. Every yield and redemption window is published in their docs before you touch anything. Builders. Their grants program is funding RWA projects right now. But here's the one signal I'd watch. The day the first registered fund runs its whole life cycle on Plume's transfer agent. Issuance, ownership, dividends, all on-chain. That's the day this thesis proves out. Because the story is bigger than one chain. Compliance used to be the thing crypto avoided. Plume made it the moat. None of this is financial advice. It's education. That's the point. If you learned something, hit subscribe. Honest deep dives on the projects wiring crypto into the real world every single week. And tell me in the comments, which RWA chain should I break down next? Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.